Alright, so as you've already read in the email, we're going to be discussing the 3 types of trend and trend spotting this week. So first I'm going to start out by showing you the 3 types of trend here on the board. Then we're going to move over and finish up on the computer. 3 types of trend. A lot of people think there's only 2, but there is 3. The first type, uptrend. You know, this is obviously a real common type of trend. And uptrend is simply when you have a series of higher highs, and higher lows. So basically you've got rising peaks, rising valleys. There's all kinds of different ways that textbooks like to say it, but pretty simple. Uptrend. Uptrending price action, higher highs, higher lows. We've got downtrend, our other frequently talked about type of trend. Downtrend, a series of lower highs. We've got lower highs and lower lows. And that creates this downtrend. So our last type of trend that a lot of people don't talk about is sideways trend. So basically, sideways trend, you don't have any higher highs, higher lows. You just have basically flat highs, flat lows. So it's also known as a consolidation pattern. But this is the 3rd type of trend that a lot of people overlook. You can make money off sideways trending stocks. A lot of people think there's no way to make money when the stock's just trading sideways, but you can short the stock when it's at consolidation resistance. You can buy the stock when it's at consolidation support. So in the event you entered a short position at resistance, you can enter short here, exit short here, so cover your short position there. In the event you bought at consolidation support, you buy at support and sell at resistance. There's a couple different option spreads that you can utilize to take advantage of this type of trending that I don't really want to get into in this specific video. We'll be talking about it a little bit later. But so sideways trending, so we've got up, down, and side. So let's take it over to the computer and take a look at some real life examples of these 3 trend types, and then we'll look into, we'll go a little bit more into how to spot these types of trends. So let's take a look at a couple real life examples of uptrend, sideways trend, and downtrend. So we'll start with an uptrend. Right now we're looking at the 1-year chart of VMW. That's VMW, VMware. And you can see we've got a really nice uptrend intact. So we've got several levels. It's a series of higher lows, basically intact here. And the way to draw these lines basically is to connect the starting point to some of the support touches throughout the action here. So basically, you want to also focus on closes. So in this case, you know, the closes are just below uptrend support, but you kind of want to draw the line. You don't necessarily have to do it at the absolute bottom of every tick, you know, of every bar. You primarily want to focus on involving as much of the price action onto the uptrend support as possible without, you know, getting completely crazy as far as forcing a lot of the price action to be under the uptrend support line. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So in this case, you can see there's a couple points where it's dipped a little bit below uptrend support, but it quickly recovered. But for the most part, we have a lot of touches near or at this uptrend support line that have resulted in a nice bounce in the stock. Here's a couple. So if we would have drawn it to where we were involving a little bit more price action, it would have looked something a little bit more like this. And you can see that just gets really sloppy. There's just too much price action under this uptrend support. That's not a very strong, valid uptrend support line. So the best thing to do is just to modify it and include the majority of these dips and draw it how we had it originally. So there's a nice uptrend example in real life. If we take a look at Apple, we've got a nice sideways trend example. And basically,
we've got a nice little channel. If we go into about a 6-month chart, you can see there's quite a bit of resistance right around this 270 price point, 275, 270 range, and we've got a lot of support right there at 240. So there's a good example of a sideways trend. That's a trading range. What you can do with these trading ranges is profit off of utilizing iron condors or butterfly option spreads, or you can trade a bearish enter a bearish position when it pulls up to the consolidation pattern resistance, or take profits on a bullish position, and vice versa. When it gets back down towards this 240 support, you can take profits on your bearish position and enter a bullish position. So just kind of rinse, wash, repeat as it gets close to this resistance. In this case, we didn't get all the way up to it, got pretty darn close. You may or may not have taken your profits on that bullish position had you entered right here near this 240 level. But if you'd held on a little bit longer, you would have ended up getting back towards the top of this trading range here at this consolidation resistance level. So there's a great example of a sideways trend there. And this next chart, we've got a great example of two things. First of all, we have this nice uptrend channel intact here in sugar futures. I'm going to go all the way back out to a 1-year daily chart and zoom in a little bit on this action. And what you can see here is we have a really nice downtrend prior to that uptrend channel. So solid downtrend intact. You can see several areas where it tested this downtrend resistance level and pulled back off of it. But eventually, it did break downtrend resistance right here in this area. And that downtrend resistance now is acting as support. So it broke resistance, came down, tested that resistance or support level a couple times, and then proceeded to start channeling to the upside. And now we're breaking this 200-day moving average, and it's breaking uptrend channel resistance. This thing's just looking nice and bullish on sugar. So there's a great example of a downtrend resulting in a downtrend resistance break, and in turn turning into a uptrend channel in this case. So that pretty much covers everything with regard to all the different trend styles and trend types that we talked about on the whiteboard. Just wanted to give you a feel for some real life examples. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to email me at nick@tickertank.com.